season 6 is here. I'm excited. This video is going to be very valuable, and it's going to touch on the Matrix, right? This is kind of a topic maybe you've heard about recently, maybe you've known about it for a long time. Maybe when you hear the Matrix, you think of the movie, you know, the Matrix trilogy movie. The Matrix is basically a prevailing thought process that everyone kind of has when it comes to how life should be done and how you should go about living, essentially. How you should think, what you should do day to day, how you should structure your life, how you should date, how you should make money, things like that. It's basically a box that's created, and to a degree it can limit someone's creative autonomy because they think in terms of the box. Their whole environment is in terms of that box. Their whole environment is telling them that this box is safe. This is the only box that matters. This is the box that they should focus on. Be aware of the life steps that you're constantly being fed and told, the linear path that you're told to do. Like I've referenced in my other videos, your life isn't necessarily like that. It has to be tailored to your preferences, to things that are in your best interest, and to things that you care about and enjoy. Like me, I knew for a long time that working a corporate job just wasn't not something I wanted to do at all, because A, I'm an unfiltered person, right? I'll tell you what I think, and B, I'm a creative person, right? And C, I like to use that creativity sometimes in a very structured, logical way. Part of the reason why I have, you know, a marketing business, and it's part of the reason why I have a YouTube channel. These things allow me to express my creativity. And things like college and things like a corporate job, that's not something that I wanted to be in my life in terms of meeting my goals. Now, college was great. I'm glad I went. I met some amazing people. I learned some great things. I'm glad I went. But I'm even more proud that I thought for myself and went my own path. And I can tell you right now, this is the happiest I've ever been, because I sat down with myself and I'm very consciously aware of my preferences. I'm consciously aware of where I want my life to be. And when you're able to be conscious about what you want out of your life, you're able to look at the Matrix and you're able to see that it's just a program that's being ran. It's basically a don't think, just do this with your life. Don't think, just do that with your life. And this is the reason why I had that series, How Society Programs You, because there's these different ways that the quote unquote Matrix pushes its ideologies towards you and tells you how to live your life. Now, granted, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't get advice from others, right? Maybe there's some people with more life experience than you, and you should hear them out, right? It's not like when I went about what I want to do with my career that I didn't hear out people. I heard different opinions. I was very open-minded, but I was very aware of what is my spirit telling me right now, what fits and what doesn't fit. And when it comes to living your life, and how the Matrix tells you to live your life, it's all encompassing. It's literally everywhere. It's in telling you what to buy, it's telling you how to dress, it's telling you how to speak, all these things. And yes, to relate to others, maybe there's certain trends that go on, but you want to watch how you try to fit a mold, right? It's good to be relatable, sure, for socialization and things like that, but you need to have your own autonomy as well. Now, of course, I'm not out here spewing and saying that you're completely independent, because you're actually not. You live in a society. You need to rely on others for your food. You need to rely on others for transportation to a degree. Even if you have your own car, you still get gas. It's not like you get the gas from the ground yourself. You're still in the societal ecosystem, right? And you want to do your best to contribute to society however you want. But you also want to watch how society tells you you should do things at all times, right? So this video is inviting you to think about what are ways in which the Matrix or a prevailing thought process is coming at you, right? How are you told to act socially? How are you told? What religion are you told to follow? What person are you told to date? Do you even want to date that kind of person, right? Does that person actually fit what you're looking for? Does it actually fit your preferences? Does it actually fit compatibility? Can that person meet the different love languages that you prefer? And then think about your career as well. This field is highly respected, but is that a field you actually want to do? I also invite you to not just consume what's popular. This is another thing. Consuming just popular things leads to you thinking like the populace. And when you think like the populace, the results you're going to get in your life isn't what you're going to want. Trust me, it likely isn't what you want. I'm not going to say it isn't. it likely isn't what you want. Most people deal with anxiety, they deal with stress, they deal with rumination, they deal with anger issues, they deal with being unorganized, they deal with being unmotivated, they deal with not knowing themselves, they deal with jealousy, they deal with procrastination, they deal with all of these things. And I'm not saying I'm perfect at those, but what I'm saying is, if you're seeing how the average person is and what the average person consumes day to day, you'll notice a pattern of not having a degree of self-improvement or self-actualization there. You notice that it's very basic human garbage that people take in. And this basic human garbage leads them to have very basic results, right? They're not even aware of what they're unaware of, and they're not even aware of how things are capturing their consciousness. Another thing I want you to take from this video is it's okay to be different, because no one is exactly like you. No one has the exact same characteristics, preferences, ideal life outcomes as you want. You're a unique individual, and because you're a unique individual, you need to find unique solutions and really find out the unique things that really speak to you. A carbon copy society isn't necessarily going to help you with that. It has to do with you going deep down and understanding what your preferences are. And I understand if you're young, it's very easy to look at what everyone else is doing and just going with the herd because it's comfortable, because you won't necessarily find a degree of pushback. But in the long term, that's not going to help you. In the long term, you're going to just live with regret. I heard that a lot of times people's dying wishes was just wishing they cared less about what people thought. I think that's one of the biggest characteristics of, not being so ingrained in the matrix and not being so controlled by it, is just not caring what people think and caring more about what you think and hear, what you feel and hear. And when you can do that, the life you live is very free. You become a different person, but you become who you truly want to be, rather than who you think you should be. So the matrix is just a linear thought process that boxes you in. It could come down to trends, ways of thinking, how you socialize, all these things. And you have to think, does this actually speak to me? Is this actually someone I want to be? And if it's not, then you need to evaluate that and then take measures to be the real you. And this isn't to say that just because you're quote unquote less in the matrix that you don't fall into traps, right? You think of all these groups, and I made a video called Echo Chambers. There's still groups that are anti-matrix, anti-mainstream, etc., but they fall into cult-like ideologies and echo chambers. And then what happens? I'll tell you what happens. It becomes a mini matrix of its own. You can't think for yourself anymore. You have to think like that group leader. You have to think like the other group, or you get shunned. So that's what happens. People run away from the matrix, and then they fall into another matrix of their own. This video is really all about thinking for yourself. It's very powerful, and it's an important muscle to exercise all the time. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe. Have a great one.